morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's session. We'll be dealing with decolonization of the universities or decolonizing the universities. I'm with my colleagues. I've got Mr. Anton Pillay on my side, Rafael Muchabaiwa, Dr. Jeremiah Mazimuri. My name is Malishan Jabani, and I'll start with our presentation, which falls under the module of History of Transformation. Sometimes you might ask yourself, or we might ask ourselves, what is decolonization? In simpler terms, decolonization is the undoing of colonialism. We are moving away or shifting away from colonialism. We are doing, in simpler sense, we are undoing what was done during colonial period, if I could put it in that sense. But as you can see, you can read from there and understand what do we mean by decolonization of the universities. So we've also got two classical and essential texts to understanding what decolonialism or decolonization is from two. We've got two authors. The other one is The Wretched of the Earth by Frantz Fanon, and the other one is Decolonization of the Mind by Ngunua Tiongo. From now on, I'll be moving my presentation forth to my other colleague, who's Dr. Jeremiah Mazimuri.
To decolonization. The first one, she called the epistemological disaudience. We've got the second one, which he called the redefining. And the last one, you call transformation. In decolonization, he says it's always a violent phenomenon whose goal is replacing the certain species of man by another species of man. But he explained why is it important. So Ullman concludes by stating that the most important need in educational reconstruction is to depart from dysfunctional external models of curriculum that do not constructively to the needs of all Africans.
Building on the previous slide of the university is an imitation of the West and that Bantu education is still alive, we can look at this quote, which is the crux of the problem. Little wonder that institutions of higher learning in South Africa were and still are copycats whose primary function was and still is to serve and promote colonial Western values. The Professor Ali Musiri of Tanzania, one of Africa's renowned decolonial thinkers, provided us with this brilliant quote here. Africa must conquer itself if it's to avoid further colonization by others. Africa needs to establish a Pax Africana, an African peace promoted and maintained by Africans themselves. The questions to frame such a debate, we've got 5. Firstly, who produces and transmits knowledge and understanding? Secondly, what institutions support the production of hegemonic knowledge and understanding? Thirdly, how do we think about the relation between culture and political economy in complex, non-reductive ways? Fourth, what is coloniality of being and how to think about decolonization of being? Lastly, what is the cartography of power of the modern colonial capitalist patriarchal world system and how to reconceptualize the struggles to decolonize and transcend it?
In conclusion, we close with the thoughts of Mbembe, who is of the view that to bring Bronze statue down is far from erasing history, and nobody should be asking us to be eternally indebted to Rhodes for having donated his money and for having bequeathed his land to the university. If anything, we should be asking how did he acquire the land is the first instance. And for the whole assignment, these were the references that we used.